And joining me now, live from Corpus Christi, Texas, home of the Islanders of Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, we have head coach Steve Greene and Kyndal Payne. Coach Kyndal, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Excited to be here.
Doing fantastic. We've had a really good start to the preseason practices.
And speaking of those preseason practices and even some of these scrimmages, I know you were down in Austin this past weekend. What was that experience like, Coach, for your guys going up against the University of Texas?
It was a great experience. Obviously, the program is probably the most accomplished over the last couple decades in our game, and so a great opportunity to step in front of last year's national champs and get an opportunity to see different lineups for us, try some different things, see how people play together, and also great to see Carissa Barnes, who played the last 4 years from us and graduated here, and is now doing her fifth year at Texas. So it was really fun to see her and catch up.
Awesome. And Coach, you're a veteran in the Southland Conference now, more than 6 seasons with us. How would you describe the state of the competition right now and what you have to prepare for getting ready for Southland competition this season?
Yeah, conference is, it keeps building, gets better every year. And so, for us, we kind of break the season up into different parts. And so looking at right now, we're going into our non-conference slate coming up. And so trying to build, our level of play, build our ball control, see what we can do. So when we get into conference, we're ready for the top teams and ready to showcase what we can do.
And going back to last season, it was a tough loss in the quarterfinals of the tournament against Northwestern State. Do you use that memory as motivation? Is it something that you look back on, or is it completely, turn the page, brand new season and move forward as you try and get past that on towards a championship game this year?
It was a tough match, obviously, for us. We started off pretty well, and then things just kind of fell by the wayside on our side. But Northwestern State played amazing. I think they're coached really well, and they do a great job. And so, for us, I don't really look back into previous seasons too much, other than for things that we've done well consistently. I do think consistent excellence is difficult to do, and I think we've had it here and shown our successes, and so we use it as a just another match that maybe didn't go the way we wanted, but I don't think anyone on the team or anybody in the staff really looks to it for specific motivation, more as just another stepping stone as we try to continue to get better.
Awesome. And Kyndal, great to have you with us as well. Incredibly successful season last year for you, which we'll touch on in just a second. But as you get ready for this brand new year in 2023, take us behind the curtain of preseason with Coach Greene. What's that been like? What are some of the key principles that you've been working on this preseason?
Yeah, so a big part of our program is ball control. So we've been really focusing on that a lot this preseason, and trying to figure out team roles and team chemistry has been a big thing. And we just had a really fun team bonding experience this past week. And so things have been coming into place very well, and it's looking good and exciting.
And following up your 2022 campaign is going to be extremely difficult when you were named the Southland Volleyball Player of the Year, an ABCA Honorable Mention All-American. What do those kind of individual accolades mean to you, and how do you use them to push yourself forward into 2023?
I feel super honored to have gotten those accolades, and I think it's an awesome thing, but mostly I think it's a big reflection on our team as a whole and just the program that we're building here. It's definitely a motivator and something that I can use to just prepare for this season, and a goal to try and reach again for sure.
Awesome. And you had nearly 5 kills per set last year, including 28 in one match, which are basically video game numbers. What was so successful within your offense that allowed you to thrive so effectively?
We are a really great passing team, and I think that's something that we can say we do well every year. And we had Setter of the Year Faith Panhands last year, which made my job a lot easier, let's say that. And so it was just great having an offense out there to spread the ball to, and gave me a lot of opportunities in one-on-one situations.
And obviously with Faith now having departed, you have to continue to generate your relationships with the other setters on the team. What's that process like for you? How do you build that chemistry so you can be so effective on the court?
I think a big part of that is just talking to each other on and off the court mostly, and just building relationships and trust with one another. And the setters that we have this year have been great, and they're just great people, fun and easy to talk to. And it's just allowed us to really trust each other and start building that connection early this season.
And coach, in terms of building connections between your players, obviously you as the head coach, but also your assistant coach play an integral role. And I think it's important that we highlight the return of Julia Carter as an assistant coach. What does that alumni knowledge really bring to your team this year?
I think it's pretty unique. Julia obviously played here for 4 years and really grew as a person emotionally and maturity wise. And so, she's been through a lot of the same stressors that, our student athletes have, whether that's academic or family stresses or, time management, the stress of high level competition. She's been through it all, and she kind of understands, the way I see things, and laughs at my jokes a little more than the current players do. And so I think having that, to fall back on so that they know, like, hey, this is somebody that put in a lot of time and helped us to win, 2 championships back to back and take us to NCAAs. She understands what they're going through, and it's a pretty unique spot, and I'm really glad to have her. She's been doing an outstanding job.
She's not the only new addition to your team. Obviously, you've brought in some new players as well. I wanted to highlight Belle Morgan and Morgan Smith as 2 graduate transfers who have joined you on the island down there in Corpus Christi. Their combined experience is massive. But what does that add to your roster in terms of their play elsewhere, bringing that to Corpus Christi?
Yeah, it's definitely it's been great. As graduate transfers, obviously they're not only older, but they were starters for their previous programs and did an excellent job. And so they see the game a little bit differently, which is great, brings in a unique perspective. They're both really mature and able to connect with their teammates well. And so it's been fun having them, trying to teach them as much as we can in a short amount of time, but also just allowing them to be free and play the way that, they know they can. They've been very successful before. And so more than anything, I'm really just trying to get out of their way and allow them to just play free and play their best.
Awesome. And Kyndal, I think it's worth noting that obviously as we get towards the start of the season, we're all headed towards the end of the season and the conference championship tournament, which for the first time since 2020 is going to be hosted in Corpus Christi by yourselves. Last time you hosted it, you did win the tournament and advance to the NCAAs. Kyndal, where's your excitement level for that? And what kind of advantage and experience can you expect being at home for the conference championship?
I think it's safe to say we're super excited to have the tournament here, and it's a huge advantage. The Islanders athletic program as a whole, we do a great job at supporting each other and supporting other athletes. And we had the opportunity to host a couple of championships in the spring of last year. And just seeing all the teams come together and support one another was really awesome. And it makes us all really excited to be able to compete here in the fall.
And coach, I guess same for you in terms of the experience of hosting and playing in those big games at home.
Yeah, love hosting those competitions. It was great last spring getting to cheer on our tennis programs and our beach volleyball program as they work towards titles. And also, Kyndal was in the stands back in 2020 because her older sister played for us and helped us win that championship. And so always fun to have those legacies continue and have all our fans come out and cheer us on.
And coach, I appreciate you bringing up Kyndal's family, because one thing I needed to ask about while doing my research was that pole vaulting runs in your family, which is a very different skill set in my mind to playing volleyball. So you explain a little bit about that. Why is pole vaulting so big in your family?
Yeah, so my dad started pole vaulting when he was really young. He started in like kindergarten, and that was his love and passion. And he went on to do that professionally for a while. And then my oldest sister, she also competed and was a professional pole vaulter for a long time. So I kind of grew up around that sport, and still a love and passion of mine, but I decided to pursue volleyball, and I'm really glad I did. But yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, whatever your parents were feeding you as youngsters, clearly it worked out athletically. So good for you. And just lastly, I just want to kind of give you guys a chance to share a little bit of knowledge about you guys with us. So what's your biggest musical guilty pleasure for each of you? If you had one song or one artist that maybe most people don't seem to like that much, but you don't care, they're your favorite.
I would have to go with Bob Marley. Being here at the beach in the summer, that's a big one that I always turn to. Just gets the vibes right for sure.
I'm pretty eclectic, but I'd say anything Pharrell's involved with has really always hits home for me. So Pharrell's a pretty amazing artist and just kind of sees music in a different way. And so I really enjoy whether he's producing or making it himself.
Well, after hearing those two answers, I'm definitely excited to hear you guys' pre-game warm-up track playlist this year. That's going to be unbelievable. So we'll look forward to hearing that when we get down there for the conference championship in November. Coach Kyndal, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. We'll wish you nothing but the best of luck as games get started this week and for the entire season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Gosh.
Thank you.